Your career is many businesses, many things that you've done in the media industry, entrepreneurship as well. Could you share with us a little bit, I think, from when you started all the way till here, more or less?
Sure. So I grew up in a really small town in Eastern Connecticut. Have you ever been to Connecticut?
No, not yet. No,
You're
yet.
too cool. You're like in Spain. You've probably never been to Connecticut, but I grew up in a really small town there. And when I was 7, my father was wrongfully convicted and put in prison in Rhode Island. And so the year that he got out, this is back in 2011, I started this blog when I was 12 called A Life in the Fashion Lane.
Yeah.
This is before social media was even a common thing. Facebook was out there, but there was really no Instagram hadn't started. All of these platforms are very new. So I started the website and managed to really just cold pitch it to a bunch of people, started getting myself invited to Fashion Week just by cold emailing people. And that ended up transpiring into me getting on a bunch of different TV segments. Mm-hmm. And so I started doing tons of different TV segments while figuring out how to not go to college because I knew I had no money and didn't want to be in a ton of debt. Yeah. And moved out at 17, went to Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and decided to change the website to be totally about entrepreneurship and mental health, even though I didn't even at that time, I don't even think I called myself an entrepreneur. It wasn't something that I still thought would ever work, but I was making money doing it. And so I then had a podcast that focused a lot on entrepreneurship, which I then emailed and found someone at Radio Disney, and I pitched it to the head guy at Radio Disney. And I ended up getting a response from them, and they were like, if you live in LA, we can take a meeting. I didn't live in LA, but I just had this gut feeling that it was worth me leaving Boston. So within like literally 3 days, I subletted my apartment. I had moved from New York to Boston. I subletted my apartment, called a childhood friend of mine who also kind of had a non-traditional path like I did, and was like, if I find an apartment in LA, will you move there with me for 3 months and see if I get this show? So we moved to LA. I did find an apartment in West Hollywood. He ended up only staying about, I think, 7 weeks. But in that about 3-month period, I was able to get the show. And so I was a host of a show called Fearless Every Day with Alexa Curtis in LA. And then I, at Disney, started building this other company called Be Fearless Summit, which is the college summit company. So a lot to do with focusing on entrepreneurship and mentorship in person. And now I'm the co-founder of a company called Grasshopper here in Austin.